Hey, happy Wednesday to you. Pastor Duane coming again with some midweek encouragement for you. This is May 20th, Wednesday, and though we are restarting our midweek small groups today, we understand that some of you are still social distancing, and we appreciate that. But I wanted to be able to give you some encouragement, some wonderful things today, in spite of the fact that you're home and I'm here. So I've got a couple of songs for you and some thoughts, devotional thoughts today. I hope that this is a blessing to you as well. Breaks the power of sin and darkness, whose love is mighty and so much stronger, a King of glory, a King above all kings, who shakes the whole earth with holy thunder, who leaves us breathless and awe and wonder, a King of glory, a King above all kings. This is amazing grace. This is unfailing love, that you would take my place, that you would bear my cross, you would lay down your life, that I would be set free. Oh, Jesus, I sing for all that you've done for me. Who brings our chaos back into order, who makes the orphan a son and daughter, the King of glory, the King above all kings, who rules the nations with truth and justice, shines like the sun in all of its brilliance, the King of glory, the King above all kings. This is amazing grace. This is unfailing love, that you would take my place, that you would bear my cross, you would lay down your life, that I would be set free. Oh, Jesus, I sing for all that you've done for me. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain, worthy is the King who conquered the grave, worthy is the Lamb who was slain, worthy, worthy, worthy. Oh, this is amazing grace. This is unfailing love, that you would take my place, that you would bear my cross, that you would lay down your life, that I would be set free. Oh, Jesus, I sing for all that you've done for me. Jesus, I sing for all that you've done for me. Hey, that's a pretty cool song. That second verse has something really applicable to us in our times. You know, it's easy enough for one life to be thrown into chaos, but when the whole world is thrown into chaos, who can bring that back into order? Jesus alone. Jesus alone can bring your life, my life, back into order when we're beset with chaos. And Jesus alone, the founder, the creator, by him and through him all things hold together. He alone can undo the chaos caused by sickness, sin, disease, death. He alone can undo that. Who brings our chaos back into order? The King of glory. Open my eyes. Open my eyes that I may see glimpses of truth thou hast for me. Place in my hands the wonderful key that shall unclasp and set me free. Silently now I wait for thee, ready, my God, thy will to see. Open my eyes, illumine me, Spirit divine. Open my ears that I may hear voices of truth thou sendest clear. And while the wave notes fall on my ear, everything false will disappear. Silently now I wait for thee, ready, my God, thy will to see. Open my eyes, illumine me, Spirit divine. Open my mouth and let me bear gladly the warm truth everywhere. Open my heart and let me prepare love with thy children thus to share. Silently now I wait for thee, ready, my God, thy will to see. Open my heart, illumine me, Spirit divine. Once again, how much do we need today, in this day, for God to open our eyes so that we can see him at work? It's so easy to be distracted by all the things going on in the world that we miss God at work. Open our eyes, open our ears, let us hear the truth, and then open our mouth and let us speak it as well. Today's devotional thought comes to us from Our Daily Bread, February 25th, and is entitled Rich Toward God. It was written by Patricia Rabin, and I've added my thoughts to hers. Scripture says, "But godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into the world, and we can take nothing out of it. But if we have food and clothing, we will be content with that." People who want to get rich fall into temptation and a trap and to many foolish and harmful desires that plunge men into ruin and destruction. For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil. And some people, eager for money, have wandered from the faith and pierced themselves with many griefs. Patricia writes, "Growing up during the Great Depression, my parents knew the deep hardship as children. As a result, they were hardworking and grateful money stewards. But they were never greedy. They gave time, talent and treasure to their church, to charity, and to the needy. Indeed, they handled their money wisely and gave cheerfully. I echo those sentiments about my own parents. Each of my parents was raised in a single parent home. Back in the days when it was not very common for that to happen. Both of my grandfathers died when my parents were at the age of 5 or 6 years old. From the time my father was old enough to ride a bike, he was delivering newspapers in the neighborhood to help with the family income. Later, he worked a job before and after school to help with expenses. As a young husband with a burgeoning family, he started his own business, the Clarksburg Candy Company, only to see it falter and lose his nest egg. When I was very young, my father left a lucrative job as a route salesman and entered ministry. Life changed drastically for our family. As I grew up, we never had much, but we were also never hungry. We lived in a rented home with a garden to help supply our needs. Mom canned tomatoes and beans, froze fresh corn. We had potatoes in the bin in the cellar. Still, there were many days when I yearned for more worldly possessions or freedom to come and go like my classmates. I felt deprived, but I was never abandoned. Through all of this, my parents never stopped giving. They were advocates of tithing to the congregation where my father was pastor. And this might seem self-supporting, but I understand now it was not necessarily the norm. Plus, my father advocated and practiced putting aside 10% of his income for savings, for investment, for the future. My parents had known what it was like to be without, and so they wanted to have a safety net against future calamity. And as if that wasn't enough, and though they often argued about how, when, and to whom, my parents were willing to give to those who were in need. We must not be overly spiritual. Money is essential in our day. As someone has said, money is like oxygen. You just can't live without it. And even those who have no job, I see them every day on the corners, they panhandle for money to survive in this world that we've built. And although we need money, we recognize that there are many things money can't buy. Money can't buy happiness. Money can't buy love. Money still can't buy salvation. Now, I'm old enough to have seen some gospel workers who were so caught up in the quest for material possession and wealth that they fell prey to the love of money, the lust for money. Not all of them wandered from the faith, but many of them did. Some of them were able to return, humbled, back in the fold. And it is not only for financial gain that some preach Christ. Some desire prestige or power. Some want recognition. I know pastors who are demanding, demeaning, arrogant, self-absorbed, and pompous. And yet I try, maybe I couldn't brag on myself this way, but I try not to be that kind of pastor or preacher or leader. I believe the best leader is the kind that Jesus demonstrated. Servant leadership. Paul addressed the issue of those who preached Christ for other reasons in his letter to the Philippians, even for selfish ambition. He said, "What does it matter? The important thing is that in every way, whether from false motives or true, Christ is preached, and because of this, I rejoice. As for myself, I could call those leaders, those preachers, those teachers, those pastors on the carpet, and sometimes I do. Yet if they're still preaching Christ, salvation by grace through faith, then we might do more harm than good by preaching against them. Our aim, our goal, should be like that of Paul. Christ is preached. And what a blessing that is. So how about you? What's your reason for believing? Are you in it for personal advancement? Are you a believer in the hopes that you'll receive material blessings? Are you a giver in order to get? Do you have another agenda besides loving Jesus and just being grateful for his sacrifice to purchase your salvation and sanctification? It's always good for us to examine our motives, to adjust our trajectory, to more completely align ourselves with the perfect and holy will of God, our Creator and our Father. Then we really will be rich toward God without being greedy or guilty of storing up excessively treasures in this world. My prayer for you today is that God would help you to be rich in him, rich in the spirit world, storing up, as Jesus said, treasures in heaven, where rust doesn't come, where moths don't destroy, where thieves cannot break in and steal. Have a great day. Go in peace and be blessed.